Welcome to Bradley the Singing Chef. Today I'm making another amazing crock pot slow cooker recipe for you. It's my version of Arroz con Pollo, or chicken and rice, and I think you are going to love it. It has some amazing Spanish flavor to it, and a little extra cheese on the end of it, which, come on, cheese and butter, you know, those are like my love languages. So let's get started. I've got a little bit more prep work to do, and I thought I'd take you along for the ride. Okay, so first thing I need to do is chop one onion. Okay, so I'm going to cut off an end, cut down the center to chop it in half. Just a garbage bowl over here. And then I'm just gonna peel away that outer layer to get down to where I want to be before I chop. There we go. Same thing with the other half. This is one of the easiest recipes, but man, it feeds a crowd, or it can feed you for the week, which is what I like to do. I like to make bulk recipes and then just kind of eat on it throughout the week. And this particular recipe, the longer it sits and all the flavors get going, the better it gets. All right, so I've got my onion in half. I'm gonna first flatten my hand, go all the way through the side of the onion. Then I'm gonna turn it and chop all the way down in little slices to the root end of my onion. Turn it again, and then chop across to create a dice. Just like that, I have a chopped onion ready to go. All right, so that's the first half. I'm gonna toss that into my slow cooker to make some room on my cutting board to do the other half. Go. Missed that little piece, so make sure that gets nice and chopped. All right, same thing on the other side. Slide through half the onion, chop lengthwise towards the root end, and then through those horizontally to get your dice. Easy peasy. All right, one onion chopped into the jacuzzi that the chicken is going to sit in. All right, in this bowl, I've already chopped 2 red bell peppers that I seeded first, so I'm gonna add to that 1 orange bell pepper. So for me, this is all about just adding some color to the dish, which is why I chose 2 red and 1 orange. You could do a green bell pepper if you wanted to. You can even do a poblano if you want some extra heat into your dish. I'm just gonna chop that in half all the way around, take out the core of seeds, and pull out any of the white rib and seeds over my garbage bowl. Like I said, you could use green, poblano, you could use yellow. I'm just choosing today total of 3 peppers. Color is of your choosing. I'm using 2 red and 1 orange. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this bell pepper and I'm gonna leave the flesh side up, but I'm gonna make slices through lengthwise of the pepper to break it down. Then I'm gonna turn those all in a row like little soldiers and chop the other direction to get a nice chop. It doesn't have to be an incredibly fine dice on these peppers. I actually like them not being too finely diced so that you get some texture in the dish with the chicken and the rice. All right, same thing with the other half. Run your knife through lengthwise to break it down. Line those all up and go through the other direction. Easy as that. Perfect. All right. bowl with the other 2 peppers. Great. And all those peppers also go into your slow cooker. You're gonna want a large slow cooker for this recipe, just so that everything fits in the pot. Like I said, I'm making kind of a bulk recipe here that will feed you for at least a week, or a dinner party of, gosh, probably 8 people. All right, next little piece of prep work that I need to do is some garlic. Come on, what's not to love about garlic and onions together, right? So I'm gonna smash through 3 cloves of garlic to get the peel off. 1, 2, throw that in my garbage bowl. 3. Come on, little guy, come out of there. I think the smaller the cloves of garlic, the more ornery they are about coming out of their peel. And then I'm just gonna do a quick mince. Slice all the way through, keeping your fingers tucked in, down to the root. Toss the root away, and then run through the other direction. Kind of like you do those peppers, actually. Slice through, down to the root. Roll your fingers under to keep them out of the way of getting chopped. Toss the root away, turn the clove, and run through the other direction to mince. Same thing with this large clove that I happen to have. Just get some nice slices through, down to the root. Turn those all over, run your knife through again. Great, scrape those in the center of my board. Just quickly back and forth, rock your knife through those pieces of garlic to break them down to a pretty good mince, so that you get some garlic flavor all the way through. All right, 3 cloves of garlic minced, and into the jacuzzi. Alrighty, so let's talk spices. The next thing I'm going to add are all the spices that need to go in this to bring this smoky, a little bit of heat, flavor that all Spanish dishes have into the mix with all of the chicken and the rice. First thing I'm going to do is some chili powder. And I need 2 tablespoons of chili powder into the bowl. Next, I need a tablespoon of paprika. This is a half, so there's 1/2 and a whole tablespoon of paprika. Gonna take a pretty hefty pinch of ground black pepper. Same thing with some coarse salt. Big pinch of salt into the mix. Next, I'm going to add some cumin. I'm going to do a 1/2 tablespoon of cumin to add some of that smoky flavor. There we go. Don't want the smoke to totally overpower. That makes it a little bit more Tex-Mexy, and I really want this to be a little bit more Spanish, or even towards the Cuban side of life. All right, then I need a little bit of cayenne because I like a little kick of heat. It doesn't take much, so I'm going to do a 1/4 teaspoon of ground cayenne into the mix. Great. Now, the last thing that I'm going to add in here is some saffron. Saffron are these little stamens of a flower, and they are pretty expensive. They come in these little containers like this. You can substitute for that. If you will add a 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric, you will get the same sort of effect as you will the saffron. Saffron has a little bit of flavor, but more than anything, it adds color. It's going to bring this beautiful bright orange color into the rice of the dish. So, let's see. I really just need a half teaspoon or so. There's about a half teaspoon of the saffron. Like I said, you could do just a quarter teaspoon of turmeric and it would do the job if you don't have the saffron handy. Like I said, it's a little bit expensive. I rarely, I've had this saffron for forever. It's taken me forever to go through it, so it may be worth it over time, but turmeric can totally play just fine in the mix. All right, so to this, I need to add some liquid, okay? First thing I'm gonna add is 1.5 cups of chicken broth into the pool. Now I've got a couple of canned ingredients I'm going to add. I have a 15-ounce can of tomato sauce. It goes in. Get all that out of there. And a can of diced tomatoes and green chilies, otherwise known as Rotel probably. That is a brand, but yeah, I'm just using the original diced tomatoes and green chilies. It's a 10-ounce can of that. That's why I actually chose to not do a poblano. If you guys have seen my recipe videos before, you know that I love poblano peppers thrown in the mix. But because I was going to use this can with the green chilies, I opted for just the regular bell peppers. Okay, so that gets all the spices and all of the liquid into the pool. Find a flat space to set that garbage bowl down. Now, the next thing I am going to add is my chicken. And I'm using boneless, skinless chicken thighs, okay? Thighs are so much less expensive than chicken breasts, and I really think that thighs have more flavor than a chicken breast. I used 2 packages of this that were about 2 pounds each, so about 4 pounds or so of boneless, skinless chicken breast. And all I'm gonna do is sprinkle some salt on them and a little bit of black pepper before I nestle them into my crock pot. Before I throw them in, I'm gonna give everything that's in the crock pot so far a stir to make sure I mix all of those spices in with all the veggies and the broth that we added into the crock pot before I nestle these beautiful chicken thighs in. Now this may look like a lot of chicken, but that's okay. We're gonna make a lot. And once this has been in the crock pot on low for about, 5 to 6 hours, we're gonna add the rest of the ingredients and be able to shred up this chicken with the rice that gets added towards the end of the meal. So I'm just gonna take these chicken thighs, nestle them into my crock pot, and I'll see you in several hours when it's finished. Hey y'all, welcome back to Bradley the Singing Chef. I have had the pollo portion of my arroz con pollo in the crock pot for about 5 hours now, and it smells insanely good in here. I'm looking at all of the chicken in there is almost already falling apart in that liquid with all those veggies. And I just want to taste for seasoning the liquid that's in there. Yeah, that has some great flavor. Some smoke from that cumin and some spice from the chili powder and the cayenne. It tastes amazing. I'm gonna add another pinch of ground black pepper and another pinch of salt, just for some seasoning. Now, to this crock pot, I am adding 2 cups of instant rice, and mine is instant brown rice, such as Minute Rice or something of that brand, directly into this liquid, and that's going to go into the crock pot heating device again, staying on low for about another half an hour. So in goes the arroz into the jacuzzi, along with 1.5 cups of frozen green peas, another pop of color, and another burst of flavor into the mix. all of that rice, peas stirred down into the liquid. And in about a half an hour or so, that rice is going to absorb that liquid and cook perfectly. Then we really just have 2 more additions to add after another half an hour of cooking, and I'll tell you about those when we come back. Hey y'all, welcome back to Bradley the Singing Chef. Okay, I've had the rice in with the chicken and all the veggies and all the broth in the slow cooker for about another half an hour to 40 minutes until the rice has absorbed almost all of the liquid in the crock pot. Now the next step I need to do is take 2 forks and go after all of these boneless, skinless chicken thighs and just shred the chicken into the mixture that's in the pot. Just pull them out, tear them apart with a couple of forks, dig down in there into the rice, get all that chicken shredded. Oh, yeah. I'm so glad that I used as much chicken as I did, because I really do want this to be as much a chicken dish as it is rice dish. If I'd skimped on the number of chicken thighs, I don't think it would have been quite as good. And the good news is, chicken thighs are pretty inexpensive. I mean, those 2 packs were like, I don't know, $9 total, like for both of them. So yeah, you can get really good deals on that. And once you get all that chicken torn up into the mixture, yeah, just like that, you've got just a couple more things to add. The first thing I'm gonna add is about a half a cup of green olives o pimentos that are sliced or chopped into the mix. Gives it a little salty brine in there to add some Spanish olives. Stir those in. They don't really need to cook. They just need to be stirred into the mixture. Or if you want them to not everybody that you're serving likes olives, you could always just sprinkle them on top of the individual portions. Now, my version of arroz con pollo is cheesy arroz con pollo. So maybe that's arroz con pollo con queso, if my Spanish is serving me from high school. I've got about a cup and a half of shredded Monterey Jack and cheddar. And I'm gonna just put that directly in to the mixture in the crock pot, a little at a time. Just stir that cheese in. Oh yeah. And the heat, the chicken and the rice is gonna melt that cheesy goodness into our cheesy arroz con pollo. Add the rest of the cheese, like that. Another stir around. Get that all mixed together. Oh my gosh, you guys, this looks so good. I'm gonna serve up a dish of this for myself. It's beautiful green peas and all the bell peppers and the olives make this a beautiful dish. I've got a little bit of fresh cilantro here. I'm just going to use to garnish the top of this dish. And I got to show you what we got. Check it out. I mean, come on. That is beautiful. So colorful, so much flavor in there, which I now need to taste. Get a little piece of chicken, some rice, olive, yes. All of that. It's wonderful. So much great flavor. And it's really, really hearty. All the chicken and the rice in there, that is a meal that's gonna last you for days. And like I said, the longer it sits, the more the flavors combine, and it just gets better and better and better. I really hope you'll try this one crock pot wonder version of cheesy Arroz con Pollo. I think you're really, really gonna enjoy it. I think your family will too. Thank you so much for joining me on Bradley the Singing Chef. I hope that you will send this and all my recipes out to your friends. Would love to get more subscribers on this channel. Thanks so much for tuning in. Eat well, love always, and bon appetit, y'all.